The ball has to be chopped with the inside foot. In a zigzag setup with the cones, the ball has to be dribbled past the cone. The ball then has to be chopped backwards in front of the cone. In other words, the ball cannot be stopped or played frontally. Make sure the ball is chopped on the inside of the other foot and immediately carried in the right direction. The distance between the cones is not huge so that the exercise is repeated frequently. Now play the ball with the tip of the foot in front of the cone, towards the next cone. The ball is carried with the outside of the other foot and then dribbled with the inside and outside foot. Don't carry the ball frontally with the whole foot sole, but with the tip of the foot sole. Children this age are keen and will dribble back quickly to practice again. Again the example, showing the importance of supple movements and playing the ball in the right direction. Of course, not everything's perfect, but you will notice that they often have the ball under control and that they touch the ball with each step. In this exercise, the ball is turned under the body and carried with the inside of the other foot. The player should not stand on the ball, but rather stop the ball in a flowing movement. Make a good turn so that the ball can be carried directly with the inside of the other foot. Immediately steer the ball towards the next cone. Again the example. Keep moving. Don't stand still, but carry the ball directly. In many cases, it works first time and the pace speeds up. Players are more supple and agile. The children still focus on the ball and infrequently look over the ball. This is not that important yet while learning the movements. Draw the ball back with the underside of the foot and carry with the inside of the other foot. The cone is very important here too. Dribble just past the cone and the cone ensures the ball has to be drawn straight back. Step away properly. Turn the body by 90 degrees and carry with the inside of the other foot. Again the same example, whereby the emphasis is on doing the exercise properly and quicker. This is true for all the movements. If the kids manage it, they have done the exercise properly. The next stimulation is to do it more quickly. Draw the ball back with the underside of the foot and alternate carrying it frontally and sideways with the inside and outside foot. Make sure the standing leg joins in properly. Playing frontally is only possible if the standing leg makes enough room. Don't play the ball forwards at an angle, but properly along the front and sideways. This is a tricky exercise to start with as it demands good ball control and physical coordination. Practice with the weaker leg as well. In this exercise, draw the ball back behind the standing leg and carry forwards with the other leg. Moving the standing leg is very important here too. Make room so that you can play the ball behind you properly. Immediately after playing the ball behind, the standing leg is on its way to carry the ball. Keeping moving is also very important. Don't stand still. After drawing back, the foot has to get free of the ball, not stick and be pushed behind the standing leg with the inside foot. On the spot, rapid touches with the inside of both feet. Your position should be well on your forefeet. Bend your knees. Move your knees straight up. A straight back. Roll the ball with the foot sole between touches. Put some pressure on the ball and roll with the whole foot sole from toe to heel and back. Make sure the exercise is done frontally properly, with the right leg in front to the left. Turn the body in the right direction. Again the example, where the emphasis is on keeping moving. Quick and proper touches in between, and don't stand still when rolling. Finally, the number of interim touches. The trainer can and must sometimes define after how many touches the movement is performed. Not when the player feels like it, but rather like here, rolling the ball after 3 touches. Tricky, but practice makes perfect. After a number of touches, play the ball away and draw back on the same leg. Play the ball properly with the inside foot and immediately stretch the foot to draw the ball back with the tip of the foot sole. Make sure the ball is drawn back with the same leg. It's quite tricky. The posture here for the interim touches is incorrect. Not bent in the knees and often not at the front of the feet. Practice is needed for this exercise. Certainly difficult straight after the last exercise, as the ball now has to be drawn back to the other leg. Play the ball with the left leg and draw back with the right, and vice versa. This tests the coordination, getting the legs to do what the mind says. As soon as the players are doing it properly, increase the pace. It is, after all, about rapid footwork. However, the exercise has to be done perfectly before the pace is increased. After a few interim touches, play the ball and draw back. Go for it. On the spot, roll the ball frontally and push away with the outside foot. Short interim touches and play the ball sideways in a flowing movement. Stay on your forefeet and keep moving supply. Make sure the foot doesn't touch the ground after rolling and when moving sideways. Bend the knee of the standing leg. In addition, try to roll the ball with the other leg after 3 touches. The Zidane movement for fast footwork. This exercise, which can be practiced in many ways, was the trademark of the great French soccer player Zidane. He used the movement in all sorts of situations, passed opponents, and often broke away brilliantly. He is the prime example of a player with great ball control. His movement appears in various chapters. Children love mastering this movement. Between the interim touches, step over the ball and directly draw the ball back with the underside of the foot. Stay on the spot. During the touches, the body has to be relaxed, supple in the knees and on your forefeet. The example once again. The focus is on a powerful step over. Carrying the ball in one movement with the foot sole after the step over and the speed of the movement. A rapid footwork exercise over the length of the pitch. Roll the ball at an angle, frontally after a few touches. The children will best master this exercise with a lot of practice. With touches on the inside of both feet, move forwards at an angle and after a few touches, change direction. Don't chop, but move forward slowly in a zigzag movement. Relaxed on the forefeet, so don't place the whole foot on the floor and raise your knees slightly. Now change direction by chopping the ball. Chop the ball back slightly with the inside instep of the outer leg and change direction immediately. In this relatively relaxed exercise, the children have to get free from the ball gradually. This means not focusing on the ball the whole time, but increasingly look over the ball. Play the ball away forwards at an angle with the inside foot, draw back with the underside of the other foot, and carry forwards at an angle with the outside of that foot. Of course, perform the exercise with rapid interim touches. Make sure there is continuous ball contact, touching the ball with each step. Practice with both legs. When pushing away with the outside of the foot, bend your knees properly and keep the ball under control. Perform the exercise quickly after just 3 touches. Count and develop a good rhythm. Don't ask the children to do the same exercise too often, but get them to practice quick footwork often during practice sessions. The first half turn, the Group E and D players perform this chop, alternating between the inside and outside of the foot. From the corner to the centre of a square and back again. It is important that the ball is chopped properly. The standing leg remains clearly in front of the ball and chop the ball back sharply with the inside or outside foot. Re-establish ball contact immediately after chopping. Practice with the weaker leg as well, of course. In a sharp movement, chop the rolling ball and immediately carry the ball with the outside foot. It is important that the player retains control of the ball and maintains contact during the rolling. The movement has to be performed sharply. All opponents will be surprised when you change direction in this way. Perform a half turn by stepping around the ball with the dribbling leg, and from the turn take the ball with the inside of the other foot. From a gentle dribble, step around the ball fiercely. Stay on your forefeet as much as possible so that you can make a quick turn. This step over is made from the inside to the outside around the ball. This is in contrast to the scissors movement, for example, which goes from inside to outside. This half turn doesn't look difficult, but it demands a lot of coordination. Dribble with the right. Stop the ball. Step over the ball. Turn to the left and carry the ball with the outside left. Keep alternating the leg you dribble with. A good movement for shaking off an opponent. If an opponent is running alongside on the left-hand side, the ball is still shielded after the half turn. The body remains between the ball and the opponent. Here too, carry the ball with the other leg after the half turn. Draw back, play behind the standing leg and, in the turn, carry the ball with the outside of the other foot. When drawing the ball back, the standing leg moves forward slightly to make room for the ball. The ball remains close to the feet and, even after the half turn, re-establish ball contact with the other leg. This half turn was often used by Johan Cruyff, the famous Dutch soccer player. Make a tight turn by playing the ball with the inside of your instep behind the standing leg. Don't draw back with your heel or ankle. Bend your knees properly. The ball is played outwards and to the side slightly and immediately carried with the inside of the other foot. In a flowing movement, draw the ball back and carry. A great movement for wrong-footing the opponent, as Cruyff proved many times, especially if it's preceded by a feint kick. The famous scissor movement. Brief step over from the inside to the outside around the ball and carry the ball with the outside of the other foot. Bend your knees to make the movement supple. After the scissors, carry the ball well to the side, as if you have to go round the opponent. Send the opponent one way and pass him on the other. Step fiercely round the front of the ball and take an explosive step sideways with the outside of the other foot. Another movement to send the opponent the wrong way. Quickly and fiercely step around the ball. Now from the outside to the inside, and carry the ball past the opponent with the outside of the same foot in a fast sideward movement. Now we practice the 3 exercises with slight resistance. The opponent holds back at the time of the passing move. The first movement is the scissors. Pass, follow the ball, and the passing player becomes the defender in front of the player receiving the ball. In this sort of setup, you can also focus on the pass with the inside foot and receiving the ball. You can also include a half turn after the passing movement. In this case, the ball is chopped with the inside foot. In this setup, make the body feint to one side and carry the ball the other way. On the side, the ball is drawn back with the foot sole, played behind the standing leg, followed by a half turn. In passing movements such as these, whereby you switch legs, it's important to perform the movement with the weak leg. The follow-up action can be done with the strong leg. The final objective, of course, is not to have a weak leg. The third passing movement in this series is the step over from the outside to the inside and carrying the ball with the outside of the same foot. After the movement, keep moving and make a half turn at the side by chopping the ball with the outside foot. Gradually, the passing movements have to be performed at the right moment. Don't get too close to the opponent. Of course, this movement, passing and receiving, also has to be practiced with the weak leg. If the opponent approaches from the side, you'll have to move away from the opponent. One example is turning away by chopping with the outside foot. As soon as the opponent gets close, turn away and head in a different direction. In this setup and in this direction, pass with the left foot, receive with the right and turn away with the outside right foot. Turn away from the opponent with a fierce chop at the right time. You can precede it with a feint kick. Another example of turning away from the opponent. The step over is from the outside to the inside and carrying the ball with the other leg after the turn. Of course, there are many variations on the turn.